Well, thank you for painting the entire picture for us. That really helps. I want to go in and dissect a few things, if you don't mind.
Absolutely.
First, I want to start by having you just define what a perfusionist is, what they do in detail, just because most people probably don't know. I'm a CRNA, so obviously we're in the same operating room together when we're doing hearts. I typically don't do hearts, but when I trained, we had to do a certain number. I think it was 10. But a lot of the listeners are physical therapists or a variety of other specialties. And they're probably sitting there wondering, what in the heck is a perfusionist? So I'd love it if you could explain that.
Yeah, it's interesting because most people do not know what we are. That is true. We are extracorporeal, which means blood outside the body. That's the nature of our profession. We provide services to patients who are getting open heart surgery by operating the heart-lung machine. The heart-lung machine is basically a conglomeration of different pumps. And what we do is we direct the blood away from the heart and lungs during open heart surgery or trauma cases or heart transplants, also during lung transplants. And what happens during that time, we typically slightly cool the body down. We stop the heart, we arrest the heart in diastole using a high potassium solution. And without getting too technical, we disrupt the sodium-potassium pump, and when that happens, the heart stops beating. So that high potassium blocks out that electric charge. And in a rested heart, the surgeon, of course, can operate and in a still and bloodless field. And that's really what we're doing. We're allowing that surgeon to complete his technical tasks in a still and bloodless field. And nowadays, we rarely give blood because the components we use have been miniaturized. We've gotten really good at blood conservation for a lot of reasons. One of them originally was the AIDS scare, hepatitis, but additionally, there's overall a shortage of blood at any given moment, typically in the United States. Not in all territories of the United States, but certainly in a lot of areas. That in a nutshell kind of describes what we do. I mean, we obviously manage all the physiologic components. We do give anesthesia during the time that we are on bypass, and you can appreciate that. We typically take over the foreign administration and sometimes other drugs that are given to those patients to keep them paralyzed. So it just depends on how engaged or unengaged the anesthesia folks are in the room.
Yeah, that's one of those cases I remember going in there as a student for the ones that we did. But we get in there, we induce the anesthesia, we secure the airway, and then yeah, we love it when you guys get to take over because we just turn off our machine and then you just sit back and hang out.
Yeah, that's pretty much all. That's all you do.
Yep. Yeah, well, awesome. I love what you do. That's great. So hopefully the audience has a better understanding. So I'd like to dive in a little bit on sort of what in the world possessed you to take on a new hospital system all by yourself? Did you realize how much work was going to be involved? Were you just like willing to do the grind to make something happen, or what were you thinking back then?
Yeah, I always wanted to do something to expand, to get to the point where we could grow. My partners really gave me the tools I needed. Mm-hmm. I've always been a risk taker in what I do physically for exercise, all the way from racing motocross bikes to jumping off cliffs with kites on my back. Usually after a couple of whiskeys, though, I did that because I had a fear of heights, but got over it quickly. But because I am a risk taker, I was willing to try this, and I had the confidence to do it again because I understood the processes. And from a professional standpoint, I knew there wouldn't be a problem there. From a business standpoint, let's just say that I stumbled my way through quite nicely.